What up, what up, what up? Welcome to the ALX Leadership Podcast. This is the second episode of the podcast. And in this episode, we're going to be continuing to talk about John Maxwell and some of his leadership maxims. He wrote a book now several years ago called The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. Love that word, irrefutable laws. These are lasting maxims, lasting topics, lasting principles in leadership. And the reason why on this podcast that we look at leadership as a whole is because it has a profound impact on the way that we do business, on the way that we do life, on the way that we conduct ourselves personally, professionally. And so we take the time to invest. We take the time to grow higher, to grow deeper, and to look at what it means to be a good leader. So that's exactly what we're going to do today. So today we're going to be delving into John Maxwell's law of influence. This is a powerful concept that defines leadership in a pretty profound way. To start off, let's go ahead and define the law of influence. According to Mr. Maxwell, the true measure of leadership is influence. Nothing more, nothing less. It's a powerful idea heard around the world and now the internet as well, which is global in and of itself. Influence is something that pervades every aspect of culture that we find ourselves in, no matter what country we're in, no matter what scenario we're in, no matter what group we're in, or anything like that. But it's interesting, how often do we ask ourselves the fundamental question, who are we influencing? More importantly, what type of influence are we offering to those who look up to us? Are we offering a positive influence, or are we offering a negative influence? And a lot of this has to actually do with how we are being influenced ourselves. If you were to look at influence as a chain, there's always a link above you and there's always a link below you. Whether you think that you have influence or not, you actually do, but it's up to you to see whether or not you're going to actually acknowledge that influence exists. There's a real downside of not being able to steward this influence well. And that downside manifests itself in insecure leadership. Insecure leaders may influence in a way that keeps others down and really safeguards their own position. Insecure leaders are actually really selfish leaders because they're very concerned about themselves, their image, their status, the way that things are going, the way that things are happening, and the way that those things reflect on them. This approach is by nature detrimental, as the best leaders understand that leadership is about elevating others to their highest potential. It's not about the leader. Leadership goes beyond titles like CEO, director, or principal. True leadership is actually determined by followership. Having a title means nothing if people don't willingly follow your lead. A leader is somebody who has followers and people who are willing to follow them. And their title means next to nothing if those people aren't willingly choosing to follow those people. John Maxwell will assert in this second law that true leadership can't be awarded, appointed, or assigned. It comes only from influence, and that cannot be mandated. It must be earned. You see, leadership is not about positions. It's about cultivating influence through genuine connections. And this really causes us to take a pause and think about, how are we influencing the world around us? How are we influencing our companies, our teams, the people that we do life with, the people that we're in relationship with? Are we looking to grow influence with the people that we're around? Or are we expecting them to give it to us by nature of the relationship? Maybe you're a boss, maybe you're a CEO or a project manager or something, and you're expecting that the people that you're leading will respect you because you have a position, because you have a title. John Maxwell would say that true leadership can't be awarded, appointed, or assigned. It comes only from influence, and that can't be mandated. It must be earned. It must be earned. So if we have this principle in place for ourselves and we operate by it, that's all great and good. How do we identify real leaders? I think at first it starts by us not being swayed by titles, credentials, or claims. It's just because someone has a title or projects an image of success doesn't mean that they actually have influence. There's a crucial indicator of a real leader, and that indicator is that the proof of leadership is found in the followers. What are the type of people that actually follow the leader? Are they willingly following, or are they kind of begrudgingly, kind of because they have to? That's not leadership. The crucial indicator for identifying a real leader is found in the followers. If they are excited and willing and love to follow that leader, that's a real leader. There's a famous leadership proverb that I think John actually coined, and it says, "He who thinks he leads but has no followers is only taking a walk." He who thinks he leads but has no followers is only taking a walk. This proverb encapsulates the essence of leadership, that it's not about the leader's perception, but the impact on those who follow. To summarize all of this, the law of influence teaches us that leadership is about genuine influence earned through lifting others up. So let's strive to be leaders who positively influence and uplift, creating a legacy of empowered individuals. This has been a summary of the second irrefutable law of leadership coined by Mr. John Maxwell from his book, The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. Again, I want to thank you for spending some time with us on the ALX Leadership Podcast. I would love to know what you guys think of these podcasts. Feel free to shoot me an email or to get in contact with us some way. We'd love to be able to upgrade your leadership or upgrade your business processes in any way that we can. Or if you just have questions or if you want to discuss, please pass those along. Again, stay hungry to grow in leadership, and we'll see you guys back here next time.